Today I'm going to attempt the Asian Turtle strategy, the most profitable risk strategy ever, assuming other players let you hold Asia. I've just created a new account and set the minimum rank as novice, so only novices or smurfs could join, but hopefully we got legit novices this time. All of them barely played any games, so could be extremely hard to tell. But no matter anything, let's try our best. Obviously in the beginning of the game I sent the alliance requests for all of the players, so they would genuinely treat me as a very good ally, leaving me alone, while destroying each other, while I would be literally doing nothing, just watching the world burn and turtling. But unfortunately nobody has accepted my alliance request yet, so actually it might not go as expected. But my strategy in the manual setup is to firstly prioritize picking the Asian border territories, so no neighboring player would think of the idea to build an army on one of the Asian borders rather than their continent's border itself. So like I really wanted to get Siam, so the Australian player wouldn't build his army there. From what it looks like, the green player went for South America and then messes up with both of my opponents to prevent them from immediately getting their troop bonuses by selecting some territories in their continents, so that's really good. Then the pink player went for North America, and instead of messing up with other players like green, decided to expand, taking territories in Europe, and that's really good because he might not cause problems for me if I don't mess up with him either. And finally white decided to go for Australia, and after that for Africa as well, while at the same time taking a few territories in Asia to prevent me from getting it. And the white player's territory setup is at the same time fortunate and unfortunate. Unfortunate because he messes up with me and wants to prevent me from getting Asia, but the fortunate thing is that he didn't stick with Australia and actually went for Africa as well. So if he is going to put a bunch of troops in Africa as well, but not only focusing on Australia, then the strategy might work out depending on how passive or aggressive my opponents will be when it comes to me, as what I mean with the Australian player putting his guarding army on Siam instead of Indonesia. The plan to use the Asian Turtle strategy would be immediately ruined. So hopefully that doesn't happen. And probably it won't, because the white player didn't put a bunch of troops in Australia, but what I'm afraid of is that he could actually decide to invade me into Middle East. And I mean, if I get invaded into Asia, then I could probably take over Australia, but I mean in this game I don't want Australia. I want for this game to be purely Asian strategy, and specifically the Asian Turtle strategy, in which you don't guard any borders, but just put 3 counter-attack armies in the territories of India, China, and Mongolia. As setting your armies in this way, no matter which border your opponent would invade, he would unleash one of your armies and could expect a possible retaliation. And while at first your armies will be small, with nobody invading you they will grow big, so then your opponents could actually become really afraid to invade you, knowing that one of your armies could be used in the retaliation against them. They would know that poking the bear could go really wrong for them. And that's actually a very great start. The green player invaded the white player into Africa. So I assume the white player will want to retaliate and attack or invade him back, or at the very least recapture Africa, while not invading me. Then with the green player adding some troops into North America, I think the pink player won't be too much satisfied about the green player either, but even if not, hopefully just expands to Europe. But actually I think it's most likely for me to get invaded by pink. And when it comes to green, I hope that he will just continue messing up with his neighboring players, taking other players' attention off of me, and bringing it to himself. And here we are, the Asian Turtle strategy has been set up, so just the question is whether players will actually let me hold it. But let's see and hope for the best. I mean, if it goes wrong, then I could just try doing it in other games again, but ideally I would like to pull it off from the very first time. The white player didn't invade me, but I mean that was really expected that he will rather try to recapture Africa after getting invaded by green. And the green player just attempted to invade the pink player into North America, which is a very promising sign as well, because the pink player will probably be mostly focused on the green player as well. But unfortunately, after failing to invade pink, The green player couldn't live without invading anyone, so at the end he invaded me, and that was actually close because firstly it looked like he wanted to attack the European territory of white, but then quickly changed his mind and brought through one of my borders. But that's actually not really a problem. My army got unleashed, and you probably know what is awaiting for the green player. He is just simply going to get wiped out from Europe, so he couldn't invade me anymore, so unless breaking through white, but that would just basically self-destroy himself, assuming the white player doesn't immediately take him out now. Which he probably will. But I mean, this is what happens when you try to mess up with 3 players at once and don't have any good allies. So not really a surprise the green player gets eliminated first. But the most important question is what now after the green player is gone? Where the white and pink players' attentions will be focused on. The pink player didn't have an opportunity to invade me yet with the green player doing it by himself, so not sure yet if he will actually let me hold Asia, and then I'm wondering what will be the white player's plans after getting rid of green. So we are going to see. But myself, I'm just mostly planning to turtle and be as passive as possible. As when 2 players fight, the third one wins. So if the opponents won't realize that, then I will just be profiting from my Asian turtle strategy. As long as my opponents take care of each other, myself I don't need to attack anyone. If they want to waste their troops on each other, then they could. Meanwhile I will just be a friendly neighboring player who doesn't bother anyone, who doesn't even guard his borders, and with that not causing any pressure on them to strongly guard their borders against me either. But let's actually see what the white player is going to do. At least myself, I assume that he should be looking forward to retaliate to pink after getting invaded by him. And if so, then it should be very promising to me, as the pink player would probably look to invade the white player again. So most importantly, nobody of them would invade me. But I mean, if one of the players starts to get much stronger than another one and at the same time doesn't let me hold Asia, then I could just simply attack that player, helping the weaker player out and sustaining the balance of the game. And what I mostly mean by that is looking to the troops counter and making sure that nobody of my opponents have more troops than me and another opponent combined. I don't have 1 troop territory to attack, so I'm just going to deploy my gotten troops in my armies and skip the turn. I mean, I could have potentially taken down some troops down a pink, but I mean, I don't guard my borders, so don't want that in response he would invade me into one of my borders. And I don't want to attack white either. As long as he lets me hold Asia, he is using all of his troops on attacking pink, so why not let continue him do so? The most hilarious thing that with even having 3 different continents, he gets the same value of continental troops as I from Asia alone. So the Asian turtling strategy is really profitable. It could be extremely hard for another player to start getting quite more troops than you. So I really enjoy using it. So just hopefully the pink player doesn't invade me now. Let's hope that he just wants Europe. And alright, he stopped, so the situation continues looking promising to me. I just basically already won. So maybe unless the white player stops attacking pink and uses all of his gotten troops on me, but even then I think the pink player will just attack white, which would probably let me win the game anyway. These are new to the game players and I don't think they know anything about the balance of the game. And with the white player taking out pink, I think I just won, even if he makes it in time to take the pink player out to get his 4 cards. Invading me through any of the borders will result the white player getting with one of my armies rolled through all of his continents, so except Australia. So actually, if the white player wanted to invade me into Asia, then it would be the best for him to attack into Siam, as then one of my armies would be unleashed only towards Australia. Anyway, as you saw, the white player ran out of time to take the pink player out, and the pink player, after trading an ace set at 4 cards, went to retaliate to the white player and invade him into North America. I cannot take the pink player out, and it wouldn't be that much worth anyway, so I think my best move would be to invade the white player into Australia and actually take it from him, and then to fortify one of the armies out of the blocked place. But I decided whatever, Let's not ruin the white player the fun of attacking and taking out the pink player before we actually get into the serious two-player endgame. So I decided to just let him hold his continent and neither took over Australia, nor invaded him into Africa and South America, as he was going to use his troops on taking out the pink player anyway. So let him have some fun and think that he actually dominates the game by taking all of the world except Asia. Let's actually see whether he invades or lets me hold Asia. And he breaks through my Middle East border. I do not have a set at 4 cards, but even with that army alone I could do a lot of damage to him for sure. Besides that army I have 2 other armies as well, so I don't think he could make a comeback, so unless I would let him to. As looking to the troops counter, I have quite more troops and I haven't even traded in my set yet. So the game is really over for the white player, so unless I will try to make it more fair and equalize our power in some way. To not have the speed advantage I could probably turn the camera animations on, as the white player hasn't turned them off in the settings and with that is very slow. So I think the developers should really make that the camera animations would be turned off by default, as I even see a lot of higher ranked players having them still on, and they probably not understand how others can attack so fast. And my speed playing on mobile in comparison with the players who play Risk on computer and spam the enter key is still very slow. So the developers could probably come up with something to equalize the speed and make it more fair for everyone. Anyway, as you can see I don't have enough troops to crush the white player's biggest army, so I think I will just continue attacking the territories of ones to reduce his territorial troop bonus as much as possible, so without attacking the territory of North Africa, so to not unleash the white player's Brazilian army, as I actually intend to make it block by fortifying my last Asian army to the territory of Venezuela. And as you can see with me doing so, that's immediately a GG, without any more additional time wasted. What an awesome game! Now for another Asian Turtle strategy video, I would recommend you checking this video out. That is actually my original Asian Turtle strategy video in which I showed to the world that it could actually work.